Dzień dobry, folks. I'm back again, this time from a different country. In the beginning of last show, it was the Netherlands, where I attended the IWI. This time, I'm back from Poland, where I went to the WorldViz Fest 2026 in Warsaw. It was great. I will tell you more about it either later this week or maybe next week when we have time for this on Discord. But now it is time for another episode of our beloved Keeping It Realistic show. Today we have Tuesday, June 23rd, a very hot June 23rd here in Germany. I know that where you guys live, you have it hotter often. The truth is, though, that Germany simply isn't prepared for this type of temperatures. Like restaurants, public buildings, museums, whatever, business offices, whatever they are, because they have air conditioning. But when it comes to a residential level, we don't have this at all, or almost not. And especially if you live in an old historical building like my family and I do, then it's more or less what's on the outside is also on the inside. So you see, it's the very beginning of the show. I'm already red and sweating. So if with time I start slowly melting and stuff, just bear with me. It will be okay. And in a few weeks, it will be over. Just so you know, it's pretty hot. And I hope it's kind of cooler and more pleasant where you are. Now, back to the show. As always, it's me, Teo Vodov, and I'm back with the 79th episode of Keeping It Realistic, that show that we do in collaboration with Chaos, that is dedicated to and even broadcasted live in the Chaos campus, and most of all, that show that aims to provide you with insights and knowledge that you don't get anywhere else unless you're willing to pay a lot of money for it, of course. Welcome to the last episode of the Keeping It Realistic series dedicated to interior design and interior visualization that we're doing since the beginning of 2026. After this episode, we will be changing the topic because at the end of the day, the Chaos Campus is not an ArchViz community, it's a visualization one, meaning that we need to also do other types of visualizations such as automotive, project, animation, simulations, and whatnot. My recommendation, back to our topic, is to watch all the topic-related episodes first. They are all, apart from this one, of course, they are all available on our YouTube channel, YouTube/Campus of Chaos, where you can find, I think in the meantime, it's almost more than 20 plus hours of content related to interior design and interior visualization, and then apply the knowledge on our ongoing interior exercise called The Apartment in Germany that I will share in a second in the comment section. Now, one thing I want to tell you, don't start yet if you haven't already, because during the WorldViz Fest, I attended a presentation that was absolutely, I don't know, mind-blowing, eye-opening, whatever you want to call it for me. And I came up with, or I stole, let's be honest here, I stole an idea from that presentation that I also want to apply here on the campus with you. So give me a few days. I want to discuss this idea with you. And if you all like it, we'll do it this way. So wait a few days, just go watch the content and then let's do it. And now let's give me a moment to share the link for our exercise and check the comments because you guys have been incredibly active here. Let me see. Francesco is here. Hi, everyone. I'm back just in time from a short vacation. Where did you go, my friend? And I'm glad to be here for this episode. Amit, of course. Hi, Teo. Hi, Daniel. And hi, oh, so good to see you after a long time. Dito, my friends. Who do we also have here? Shant. Welcome, my friend. I don't remember seeing your name in the comments. So if it's the first time, welcome to the Keeping It Realistic shows. Amit says it's hot and rainy too. I'm sitting on and off in the AC and I can't bear the sweat. Well, we don't have ACs, as I told you. I have two fans going on here, but what they do is just rotate the hot air around me, so it doesn't really help much. I think you already see this. Francesco says, if it's any consolation, I went from 18 degrees in Ireland to almost 40 degrees in Bologna. It's not a consortium, but I feel you, my friend. Rakesh is here. Ulfat, Anatoly. Awesome to have you here, my friends. I've missed you and I'm very happy to be back. Now, let's go back to today's episode so that we don't let our guest wait too long. You see, during the WorldViz Fest that I already mentioned, AI, as you can imagine, was a major topic. And it seems like most studios, artists, and even attendees have already used it and have made it a part of their pipelines. But this isn't the case for everyone, and I think that some don't even plan to do that, right? So I would say there is no 100% consensus on the topic of AI or even a total clarity about the future of our industry. One thing, however, there is, which everyone agrees on, and no matter what specific visualization field they're in, being it architecture, project, automotive, marketing, and it is that generic, emotionless, and soulless work doesn't have a bright future, and if you ask me, doesn't have any future at all. And of course, this doesn't only go for still images, but also, and actually especially, for animations. And this actually leads us to today's episode, because my guest and the studio he's a part of create ArchViz animations that are not only a total joy for the eye, but also visibly intentional, managing to beautifully capture the soul and character of the architecture they depict. And luckily for us, he is willing to tell us more about the process of creating said animations. So without any further ado, let's just get him to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me straight from Bogota, Colombia, Senor Daniel Diaz de Castillo. Hola, Daniel.
Hi, Teo. Hi, everyone.
How was this presentation? Were you called Senor often?
No. No, not at all.
Well, our talks are always very casual, but in the very beginning, I like to be very royal, just as a contrast of what follows. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. It must be around 9 a.m. in the morning on your side, right?
Yep.
Is it hot?
No, we are 22 centigrades degrees around here, so it's chilly.
So yeah, you see, Germany is hotter than Colombia, if you didn't know this. So yeah, you'll be starting your workday with a talk on the Chaos Campus. Thanks once again. Really appreciate you for being here. You've watched some episodes of the show. You know that in the beginning, we always take the time to get to know the people who come to join us and share some of their knowledge and insights with us. So please tell us more about yourself, your creative journey. Who are you? Where did you start? And how did you end up doing what you do today?
Okay. So I started way back in the university. I study architecture. I got my degree. I started with SketchUp right around second or third semester because a friend of mine showed me that my passion with computers and CG generation was way back in the day. I started really in architecture, like with The Sims, the game. I started drawing the houses of The Sims in a paper, and then doing in the game. That was my first approach to 3D. Then with SketchUp, I started right around a fourth semester, teaching some friends of mine and also the teachers, teaching about the SketchUp. Then V-Ray came, not V-Ray from Chaos. Chaos was not making V-Ray at that time. It was another company. It was very rough. The software was very limited. The SketchUp was very limited in that regard. A bit of topic here. It was a 32-bit software. It was the computers were not that powerful back then. I didn't have a good computer back then, so it was harder. But you can learn a lot from doing that kind of optimization, economic optimization. Like it's very teaching. For my degree, I was using Thea Render. I think it's still exists to this day.
It's like a different life. I hadn't heard this name for a while. Okay.
Yeah,
Were you happy with it?
yeah. It was better than SketchUp, V-Ray for SketchUp at that time, because it was a different program. You export the geometry and you can import in Thea Render. It was more stable. and it can handle a lot more polygons and models and all of that at that time. Okay. So I graduated from architecture, and my first job was at Ecomedia. It's like the biggest ArchViz firm in Colombia. They were using 3D Max and V-Ray at the time. I didn't have opened 3D Max, so it was a big mountain to climb. 3D
Which
Max
which year are we talking about right now? So as you joined them?
2011.
Okay, nice.
So it was at first it was super hard for me. They hired me because my portfolio. They saw something. I was super young, first job, but it was a very good experience over there. It was a very consolidated office. They had so much processes, so much organization, so much that you can learn from. It was a great experience. I learned a lot from them. I'm very grateful, and it was my first real like ArchViz as an office. It was not some guy in his home doing some images. So the organization level, the projects were great, and it was a big experience for me. I jumped like in 9 months. I jumped to a design firm, because I was exploring what else can I do. I was an architect. I thought at that time I don't like doing renderings all day. I want to design. Big error for me, but it was.
Why though?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, because it was not this big design that you can think of, luxury design. It was regular living, serial buildings, where you don't design at all. You just do some details and AutoCAD work. It was not funny.
I understand it.
But it
Yeah,
was at that office. I started doing the renderings for the projects, so I get myself more comfortable doing it. I jumped to another firm doing interior design for corporate. I jumped as the first ArchViz artist for the film. They were outsourcing all the projects, and there was a super nice experience. It was super hard. I was doing almost 2 to 3 projects a week. I was doing just 1 or 2 images for each one, but it was absolutely crazy.
and it's still
Um,
6 images, like 4 to 6 images a week, which is a
yeah,
lot
from scratch.
from
It
scratch.
was insane. Obviously, the quality was not magazine level because of the times, but it was super good for just client presentations. At that time, Corona came. I landed that job position that I wanted so much because of Corona. I do the interview in their offices with their computers. They didn't have a software installed, and they expect that you make some images with, I don't know, something. I
Paint.
downloaded Corona, I downloaded V-Ray, but V-Ray had a demo limitation that resets itself at that time, resets itself all the parameters each time you do a rendering. So I started the test with V-Ray, I dropped it, and installed Corona, redo all the shaders in Corona, and deliver, and landed the job. So that big was the difference at that time between Corona and V-Ray. The usability was a breeze. V-Ray has learned a lot from those days. It's very different right now, but Corona is my weapon of choice since since those days. Um, I learned a lot from interior design, color palettes, furniture brands, all of that in that job. I was like for 3 years over there. I was just one guy doing all that. Around the second year, I said I'm burnout, totally burnout. I need a partner to help me do all the work. They hired someone else, and that person became my partner for my own firm called Arc Writers. It was uh, so good. We lasted like for 3 years.
So you both
We
left
parted.
the other company and founded your
Yeah,
own.
we left the company. It was
Okay.
not in the best terms because all the department of renderings left from one day to another. But at that time, we needed to do that. Um, it was 3 years, very good 3 years. Suddenly, my partner was thinking on other things, so we parted ways. It was better that way. And then pandemic hits. It was super bad because I signed my own firm with all the legal papers and all in February, and pandemic hit in March in Colombia.
Oh, perfect
It
timing.
was the worst time for me because I didn't have any means, any way to visit clients, any way to look for work. So it didn't work. It didn't work. I was by myself like for a year, but it didn't work. I learned a lot from that experience. I'm so um, glad that I make it. I learned that I don't like administer task. I don't like
You need to
paperwork.
learn this.
Yeah, I needed to learn all of that. The economic terms in my country were changing at that time. Everything was paperwork and more paperwork. I didn't like it at all. I'm an artist. I like to do challenging things. I like to be on the edge of the technology. I don't like at all being running errands with papers and all of that. I learned that, and I learned that I don't want to be the boss, the CEO of the company. That was super good for me because um, there is this misconception that you need to be your own boss. You need to be the CEO. You need to have more power. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Power is
I
responsibility. I mean, if you do it right, people imagine
sure.
this person in the leather chair with a cigar, just giving out orders. But if you do it right, if you're a leader, then you have so much responsibility. And let's say letting people go because let's say the conditions are bad or another pandemic hit, whatever financial crisis, it sucks so much. And I don't know. I don't want to be that either. I mean, I do it for myself, but I don't want to do it for a team because it's a ton of responsibility. People underestimate this.
Yeah, totally. I like to be a team player. I like to be a teacher. I love teaching CG and all stuff. I love solving problems, but not that kind of problems.
Yeah. It feels like they're holding an artist back. I mean, every time I do my taxes, I mean, I do it with accountant, but I still have to prepare stuff that I give to the accountant. Every time I do, you see me here swearing and being like, I don't want to let me just do 3D. Let me just do artworks. I don't want to do numbers. But
Yeah, I hated that part. Totally, totally hated that part.
yeah. And I was in the comments, Anatole is like true that. So I think, and he has his own studio. So yeah.
Yeah, it's relatable. So I was like a year on my own. Then I jumped to what's like Chroma Studio in Colombia as a technical director. I jumped, so they were All the workflow was in Miro at that time. One of the big things was teaching all the team Corona, all the workflow with Corona, new workflow, new ways to do things. It was a total studio overhaul for like 6 months. It was teaching all the Wednesdays. We have a teaching moment, like 1 or 2 hours. It was in the pandemic, so it was all remote positions, and it was very very nice to teach a whole studio new ways. I was doing like all the images variations and so on. And then I met Juan Pablo from Metrica. I started working with Juan Pablo in the nights. So I did my work in Chroma Studio. At the night, I was not married. That's a big point.
On the
And then
night. Okay.
at the night, I was working with Metrica, like for up to midnight. It was gruesome, but it was rewarding. And I made the jump to Metrica to give me a little more peace, a little more time, and concentrate just on Metrica. And it's been 5 years now. We've done a lot of projects, a lot of interesting projects in all the parts of the world, like Dubai with all of its crazy projects, and other parts of the world with so not that crazy projects, but we have learned a lot. Always we are trying to put the bar higher. Our work needs to be always top notch, always our best. That's so difficult sometimes. The clients can mess some things up. Not all the projects tend to be inspiring, but we are trying to do our best, and that's where I'm here, where I'm now, and we have some projects to show you. How do I share my screen?
At the we could have done this in the
In the
preparation phase.
bottom,
I
okay.
forgot it. At the bottom,
Yeah.
there is a share screen, then you can do your screen or window or your whole window.
Okay.
Do you still do teachings, like online teachings or on-site eventually in the meantime? There is no pandemic anymore.
I do teaching for Metrica team. I love to be exploring new tech. Right now, it's obviously AI. So I learn from my side and teach to them, because right now it's super early for AI. It's changing every day. New tools, new workflows, and everyone is learning. Everyone wants to put their new course or the new tech out there to get a hold of the market, I think. And that I think it's sort of the future, like a mix of 3D and AI. I think it will disrupt the whole industry one way or another, for good or bad, but it will change everything, I
Yeah,
think.
nobody knows why. I mean, during the WordViz Fest, as I mentioned in the intro, this was the topic of almost every presentation. But there are also some panels with some, really, really knowledgeable people, like the CEO of Binion, founder and CEO of Binion, who was asked like, "Okay, tell us what's going to be the future," and he didn't want to, because I don't know if it was just because there were cameras there, and if he says something which turns out wrong, there would be, let's say, a video evidence of it, or he really didn't want to. But looking at the whole conference, the attendees, the speakers, it's like, yeah, people already adopted, like most or have already adopted it, made it a part of their pipelines, but it's not like they know what's coming next. But we'll talk about AI in the Q&A, which happens in the end of the show for those who are new and tuning in for the first time. So before you jump into your presentation, which looks amazing, I'll probably change the window layout so that I disappear, but your presentation becomes a bit bigger. So it's only you and the presentation visible. I wanted to ask you two things. So first thing, what you said in the very beginning, when you were hired for the first time, you didn't have like an amazing portfolio or like an awesome skill set, but you were still hired. Would you say it's potential over like experience and current skills when it comes to hiring? When you would hire somebody nowadays, would you look more for if they are perfect technically, or would you look more for somebody who is, has great ideas or a great vision and a great eye, and then give them the skills later under your supervision?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for you to teach is like good taste for images, for color palettes, for lighting. That's almost impossible. Um,
You said the hardest to teach. This means that it
yeah,
is teachable.
yeah, it's
How do
teachable.
you do that? I want to know, please. Q&A and all, but I want to know this now.
I would start with a ton of references, good references, because everything that's in the internet, it's just a bunch of images. Nobody is caring for them. Nobody's curing them. And if you do interest.com, it will flood your mind with almost all bad images. If you see bad architecture, if you see bad interior design all day, you can't reproduce it, a good interior design or good architecture. You need to be feeding always, all day, good images, good design, good everything. Or it's like, I think Daniel Nuggets said in their courses, follow me, follow my Instagram, followed by repost. I cure them. I'm just going to put the best architecture, the best interior design over there. If you look all day to bad things, your your mind will reproduce it.
You train
It's
your eye
very
and your
difficult.
senses to acknowledge what is good and what not, right? Because
Yep.
this would have been my next question. Like, surround yourself with good images. You mentioned Pinterest, but nowadays Pinterest is just AI. It feels like it's 90% AI. I don't go there anymore. Huh? Bad AI, yeah, slop. Yeah, definitely. Like it looks flashy at the first glance, but if you take a closer look, you see that it's just bullshit. So yeah, I don't go there anymore. It used to be a place for great references, but nowadays it's not anymore.
It's dangerous place for references.
Yeah. So I would say photographers, photographers and
Yep.
art daily and stuff, just where you have actual, images created by competent professionals, not just somebody who prompted it before they go to sleep. So, okay. Please then do your presentation once again. I will change the template so that we see more of the window and not me, because people have seen me enough. So here we go.
Okay.
Oh, maybe like this.
So this is Zero House, a case study for the project, the whole project. I'm going to show you also the Miro boards from the client, our internal Miro boards, and all the process. Hope you learn something from this. Let's get to it. So Zero House is a house located in United States, obviously luxury house, designed by Cinco Sólidos. It's an architectural firm from Medellin, Colombia. They are a pleasure to work with. They are super creative, super good with references, design in general. Everything that they do, it's like golden. So, the images you are going to see, and are for all the interior design, and everything is from them. The lighting design is from another company. I think I missed their name, so I'm not gonna misspell it. Okay, let's do it. So Zero House was a project from 2025, very recent. The client asked for a video and 10 images. The video was the first part, the part they needed first. So we focus on, we need to make a video, a good video. We need to transform the architect vision from this house to a video that tells the same story. The story of this house is I want a house where I can relax, where I can spend my time in peace, where the time stops, right? So the
May I ask, how did you figure the story out? Like,
with
did
the
the plans
architects,
tell you what the purpose of the house is, or did you analyze it yourself?
yeah, with the architects, we have a very good relation. So they tell us what are they thinking, what are they designing for, what is the final client want, and we part from that part. We do a concept. The concept is the most crucial part for this kind of projects, because if you just have a 3D Max model or any program, and you start putting HDRIs and you say this is down, this is sunny, this is anything, you don't have a story. You just have some pretty pictures disconnected from each other, and that won't sell the same as a good architecture telling its own story. So the first part for us, it's the concept. The concept will tell us where do we start, what are we going to look for, and where are we aiming in terms of lighting, in terms of what what do you want to feel, the viewer to feel, and the pace. The pace is super important. This have a very slow pace. This is not like one image per second clip. It's super slow. You are reading the architecture, you are reading the materials, and all the lighting is like from uh, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All telling a story. We wanted to to feel the materials. We didn't want to be super dark, that you didn't read all the luxury materials in the house. The house has like 3 or 4 principal materials, nothing more. And it was a pleasure to work on. So for the week 0, let's say, we do the pre-phase, is the concept. From there on, we do the creative and production kickoff. So all the modeling, all the questions for the architects, there is some information missing. I don't know which material we're going to apply this part, and so on. In total, it was like 8 weeks from production. Then we handle the client and an animatic, the client or the architect, an animatic, then the preview and the final. Okay, so we are going to look at all the steps. This is our board, our Miro board. We are going to look at it in detail over here. Let me change the screen. And I think it's this.
That's so awesome to have a glimpse behind the scenes, honestly. Okay,
Yeah,
once
this
again
is
like
our internal world, the complete internal world from our team. So this is where our project manager will put all the information from the client. The client send us these images. They did it in-house. Okay.
They
All
are
these
ain't bad,
images.
actually.
Yeah, these are not bad. These are not bad.
Yeah, nice.
And all the plans, obviously, all the references. These are client images. All of these are client images. So you see, it's not bad. They are not far from the final product. And this obviously is super helpful for us. We can see the materials, the intentions, the everything in those images.
What
So
software do the clients use? Is it Revit or V-Ray or what is it?
no, they have 3D Max and I think Corona too.
Okay, nice. They're very
The
proficient
client
client,
sent
I gotta say.
what? Sorry.
They're very proficient clients. I mean, usually you just get
Yeah,
some plans and that's the end of it, but here you have a great input.
yeah, totally. They are super detailed in the work, but obviously this model from them we didn't use. That will be another point. All the materials, all the finishes. This is the site. Super important. Check the sun because we are going to do an aerial match perspective and the drone. So the sun has to be accurate. You can't make up the sun. So this is the site. The house was, I think, around here. The client demolished this one. The client demolished this one and built a new one. Because obviously this part of the town is very wanted. So there is not much is left spaces. So
Yeah.
this was the one. This was the one. Some additional notes. There was a landscape architectural firm on board. So they give us all the references. This is super helpful. More reference. This is a rendering from us with references from them. They pick every tree, every book, everything from them is picked and they placed on the spot. We say just okay, we place them and it works. It's super detailed on everything. They say this spoons goes right here. Okay, the spoons goes there, and the flowers go there. Okay, we just follow them. The project works.
Seems like we should interview them next though. I mean, I've never met a client that know so exactly what they want. This is like
They
absolutely
place every book on a table, like in the millimeter. It's crazy.
the
But
thing is
it
it
works.
works. So they know what they're doing and not just,
Yeah.
I've had clients that are just like, do this and it's totally stupid, makes no sense. But they obviously looking at the outcome, they know what they're doing, what they want makes sense, which is once again pretty seldom. Let's put it
Yeah,
like
it's not the norm. This is like our only client that does this, but it's great to work with them. So we have the timetable, super important. We have the reception from each client file. Let's say we have the reception of the 3D model file from the client. We started around here. This is Armado, it's mean like modeling phase. Animatics, big one. We have some gap in here. I don't remember what it was. Maybe some client adjustment or something. And we have this as I was saying, this is our own Miro. So the modelers will put their markups in here. So we have a lack of details around here, or we are missing some piece. everything will be in this Miro board.
So they are analyzing the provided model, and if there is something, they put it in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here comes one of the most important parts for us is the reference collection. We have this lighting and mood, and some of these images will translate 100% the mood, lighting, on and all of that to the final project. So we do a search in all the pages, Instagram, photographic pages, and gather all these references for the project. Let's say these images, these two images, are from the same architectural firm, Psicosolidos. They are super good. I mean, you see this thing, and you say they know what are they doing. So it's good to be working for them.
But it's all photographs, right?
No, these
Or
are photos, the top, and
Yeah.
these are renderings also.
Okay. And what criteria do you have when you use? Do you sit down and you're like, okay, let's search for references for lighting, let's search references for the materials, or is it the whole image is a reference to you?
Depending on its interior space, exterior space, I'm looking for, like you said, some lighting examples. I don't know, like over here, I will see just this is like a down sun. Each image will have its own purpose, but it's everything. It's every image will come here, and we then pick. We pick some images for their characteristics, their mood, their lighting, and then we start picking apart each reference for what we need to take from them.
Do you show this mood board to the client, or is it you who decide?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes yes. In other project, I can show it. The client itself choose the references, and all the images have that same mood, that same color grading, everything come from the reference image. Everything. That project it's in hold on, it's in a standby, but it's super pretty. We can show it yet. I hope someday. Yeah, the very interesting part of that project is every part of the mood came from just one project. The interior, exterior, everything is connected.
Nice. There is a question by Amit. Are these projects theme-based or a mix of and match of moods?
I think it's just one mood for all the projects to have a cohesion, a better cohesion in the video and the stills.
Okay, I understand. Makes sense.
So we are going to show you a very intimate part of the process. And this is our first cameras, our first wide cameras, just for internal use. Okay, this is not for the client. This is not for anyone else. This is just for us. We are exploring the space in these cameras. So we have, I don't know, like 40 cameras or something. This was the first like vegetation exploration. We didn't have the final vegetation, so this will change a lot from this big one to the next. But you can see all the spaces, all the house. It's furnished. It's totally furnished in this point. We don't like to do just plain or incomplete projects and shoot the camera because you have any composition to work with. So this is the first exploration. We discussed it internally with our team leader. and we do a second pass on this. So this pass.
Sorry for interrupting. It's just very interesting, and we seldomly get the chance to have this glimpse behind the scene, and see what you're actually doing. And this is so interesting. So from time to time, I gotta interrupt just to make sure that we get everything. So it feels like there are. Let's say if you go back to the previous set of images, there is a bedroom at the bottom line which has like different angles but also different lighting moods. So it seems like somebody was experimenting with the viewing angle, but at the same time also partially with the lighting.
Yeah, in this case, it's super important to keep track of the styles and the booths. This was just an exploration. I wanted to see. I have these big curtains in front of the bed. What happens if I close them all and put the sun behind it? This will
Yeah.
happen. So I got two totally different moods and images from these two, right? And I can start exploring right from the white model. I can explore some moods.
So, and these are just quick drafty renders. So because there's ton of them, so I assume it's not like high settings or something. You just want to see
No. One of my passions. It's like a passion. It's sick. It's optimization, project management, optimization, time management. This is super fast. One of these renders in Full HD is like 30 seconds or 1 minute. We don't have a render farm. That's another point. We have just like 7 or 6 PCs. They are good PCs, but it's not a render farm. And all of these are just one PC working maybe 1 hour for all of this. It's super fast because you are not losing any detail. Yeah. For all the Corona users out there, use the Intel denoiser. Never use the Corona high quality denoiser. Never use it. Don't use the NVIDIA one either. Just use Intel denoiser. Our sayings for all of this, all the production renderings and the video is 10% noise and 0.65 in the Intel denoiser. That's it.
Opacity, yeah, and tent. Don't forget to put tent, otherwise you won't have a good time.
Otherwise, the denoiser will not work.
Yeah, and I have two questions. First of all, have you tried Vantage? Because this is what I use Vantage for. I do something like with LiveLink. I do such studies because I also tend to do the same, but just with Vantage very quickly because one can even do very quick animations to there as well. Please answer.
I got Vantage in a bad spot in my mind because it's not totally compatible with Corona at the moment. You have to change some materials. Some materials will come as black. So we are not using a Vantage for the moment for
No, no,
this kind of productions.
not for the final because you have to either work in Corona, like for rendering in Corona or in Vantage. You cannot just set up everything for Corona and render in Vantage. But those, black and white or overridden renders you can do very, very quickly within seconds in Vantage. This is what I meant. And the second question from Amit, like you were given the exact furniture, the exact plants and everything. How about the camera angles and the lighting scenarios? Are they up to you, or is it also something that your client wants to define?
That's totally up to us. We show this to the client, and the client will approve it. But it's totally up to us. Regarding composition, camera angles, moods, lighting, they are super open to new options. They like those cinematic shots, not like that super sunny sky, blue sky with everything perfect. It's not their preferred mood for the images.
Okay.
So this is like the second time we are seeing internally the images. So we'll start to draw some ideas over here. In this part, we say, what about some people in the back? What about we are missing some trees or some IDs around here, the people here, and we are started to sketch some ideas for the video. Later on, this is the first color that we show the client. Okay, it's complete. We are not missing any piece of furniture, any shader, anything. The only thing that we have like in process was human scale, but everything is like the whole project. Okay, so this is the first time the client is seeing the project. We want to make a good first impression, because if you give the client a bad first impression, they will have so much more changes. They are not seeing the project in a good way. That's bad for the whole process. So it's way better to spend a lot more time in this phase than receiving a ton of changes later on.
But you
So
still have so many options. I mean, throughout my career, I've used to communicate actually those clay shots with my clients and give them tons of options. But when it comes to, let's say, the textured images that are fully furnished and everything, then I would limit it to a smaller size. Obviously, rendering times were different. Now we have better options for sure, but there are still so many options that you give to your clients or that you discuss with them. That's very interesting to see.
yeah, the scope of the work grows, but the revisions tend to shrink. So it's better for us. I hate the revisions. I really hate it. So for me, it's way better to lay out the whole plan in front of the client with all the furniture, everything, and start from there. Also, we can see the time in this part. These are our computers. These are a full HD, like the final shot for the video. So from 3 minutes to 10 minutes, it's totally doable with 6 PCs. There are some of these will be like around a minute and a half. This is 6 for 5 minutes with DOF. Everything we don't do DOF or any composition in afterwards. It's just like straight images.
Everything done in the video frame buffer, and
Yeah.
it's some post-production. I like to do
So
that too.
the
But I have a
client
question. Sorry, I have to interrupt you here with another question. It's just so exciting. Get used to it, please, because it's just. So a question by Rakesh here. During the initial proposal of camera angle, do you spend much time to do the lighting mood, or will it come at a later stage? So the way I understand it, like, do you propose camera and lighting, or just camera and then you adapt the lighting?
we propose both, because a good composition with a bad lighting is not that good. These shots are the first shot the client is seeing. We want to him to be amazed, so both is necessary.
Yes. Totally.
So for this project, you will see every image has like the same mood, the same type of lighting. So it was not that hard. I am going to spill all the beans in here. So the HDRI for like 90% of these images was a desaturated look, almost overcast. And I pair it with a Corona Sun to give it some warmth to the interior. And that worked in like 90% of the images. Like it worked wonders for me, because the HDRI alone doesn't give you a lot of customization. Okay, the sun can be in a position that doesn't fit exactly the project, but with Corazon you can change the height and the rotation like where you want. So that combination, HDRI and Corazon, was a match in heaven. It worked for all the projects, and it gave me consistency in the shots. It was super important. You can have 40 shots with different lighting. The project will not look good.
Yeah.
I
No
can tell you
harmony.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the harmony is super important.
But
Uh,
like I assume that you were flexible with your lighting. It wasn't just like, the sun is at this exact position and the HDRI is rotated in a certain degree and you keep it like this, but you kind of most likely adapted those to fit every single scene. But I assume still considering the sun position according to the site location that you did as a study.
yes and no. In
Okay.
the interiors, the sun position respecting the real geographic, I didn't care at all. I just care if my sun is hitting the right spot over here and making my image look good. Okay, it's perfect for me. But in this one, the sun must go with the drone shot. So it's there. I can't change it. But over here, totally, I will mess with the sun rotation 100 times. I don't care.
So it's according to your needs, not to the site location anymore. It's just
Yeah,
what looks good.
for the interior,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
exterior will dictate that position. Yep.
Nice. Thank you.
So the client was super picky about the cars. This is obviously a very high end living, so he chooses one of these Ferraris. So it was the Ferrari that at first I put a Porsche because I love Porsches over here, but we're going to see we have this Ferrari over here because the client wants it and the client is paying, so he can say whatever he wants. So these are like the final ones. We are still doing some changes over here, but you can already see this is going to be the type, the font types. This is roughly the project with the composition in DaVinci, and all the images are laid in here in order, and you can already see the story behind these images, the story they're trying to tell, and we have some revisions, small revisions in here, like lighting, composition of some vegetation elements back here, some vignette that will help sell the shot. Over here, we were, I think that we were doing some leaves, some through the leaves to give the shadow some more depth. Also in these shots,
Lovely gobos. Yeah, beautiful.
we were exploring compositions for these shots around here. We're going to show the pool gazebo a bit more, or not, or we want a bigger or narrower field of view. So changes can be appearing in this part. We have a different B-roll shots over here. This one didn't make it. This one did. The placement of the car, the color of the car, and very little details were being chosen. The client will this part is relatable for everyone. The color
Okay.
of the anything in the architecture, facade, the brick facade, or the color in the car. the client is saying, I don't want this red, I want a more saturated red. So we launch some more options. Finally, the designer set the day and said, it's red is going to be so bad for the entire shot. Just
Distracting.
yeah, it's so distracting because you are not seeing the architecture, you are seeing just the car. And he chooses this desaturated look
What
that
you
fits
initially
much better.
actually recommended, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, totally. Recommended by us, the client changed it, and then the designer saved the day.
Yeah.
But the client, one of the jobs of the client is to make changes. That's his job. So
Yeah.
we just need to create those representations and expect the best for the project. So we over here we are still looking for the right lighting for the image for the shot. We put some sticker notes on each one that it's selected. Sorry. We were looking for one more shot of the staircase, the top bottom. Finally, it was this shot with the art in the front, and a bit more changes in lighting, in composition, to finally got the okay for the client, and we launched the video. So that was for the Miro board. This is a ton of information. This is how we approach like 90% of the projects. What you can take from this is if you work in a team, you need to have some touch point. For us, is the Miro board. Everybody in the team can see the information. Everyone is looking in real time what is going on with the project, and the changes for the client, no? Because we can share this with the client, and the client can make some adjustments. Can say, I don't like this, change it, put it in another color or something. And everyone will be. There's an email, an automatic email will arrive to everyone in the board, saying there is some change available, and who made the change. So it's a very good tool. It's free up to, I think, 3 boards, so everyone can use it.
Yeah, I also use it. But have you also tried the Chaos Cosmos?
No, we haven't.
Collaboration, because there you can even leave notes on animations, which may be very useful in your case. Like during an animation, you can still leave notes for certain parts and stuff, which I found really, really cool.
Okay.
So the Cosmos is going in this direction. Obviously, Miro board has been around for so many years. It's a part of the pipeline of many. So I fully understand people don't know the Cosmos, but try it out. I think you can try it out for free, see if it works for you. And if it does, you can maybe use it because it's straight off of your VFB. And if not, then Miro is there for you.
Okay.
This is a recommendation, not as an ad or something.
I'm going to share again my presentation.
Thank you so much. This was
okay.
This was just fantastic. Let me just tell you so much. This was a true dissection of a work, and seeing the whole process behind the scenes. It's so much value in you showing this. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so centralized information, very important for the team, for the project. This is like a recap for all of that. The client brief, the modeling is super important, like I was saying. So we remodel every project that we receive. In just a few cases where time is at the essence, we can accept the Revit or 3D Max or any file from the client. But we in this project we know that we are going to do animation. We know that animation is more prone to errors and big file sizes and all of that. So we remodel everything from scratch. We do all the furniture. One difficult part in working with interior designers is that they choose anything that they see in Instagram or any platform.
Yeah.
That model will not be on 3D Sky almost all the time. So we have to model everything from scratch, from just one Instagram picture. It's super time consuming. We have explored some AI options. The
Meshy
output
triple.
is triple meshy local ones. Uh, it's almost all the same. The output is it's so similar between them. There are some better and others not so much. But if you want a lightweight model, you almost all the time are going to be modeling yourself because the AI options right now are not that great. Okay,
Yeah, you need to
so
optimize a lot, but then you also, waste a lot of time while optimizing. And I'm not sure how good they are for close-ups, I gotta say, because
yeah, for close-ups, I don't recommend it. We
no.
are doing right now a project in the Bahamas with super difficult to model furniture. We are using AI for the placeholders. So we have the placeholders. We can shoot our compositions. We can shoot our cameras with that, and the client can choose if he likes those furnitures or not, because we can spend 4 hours doing a sofa, rattan sofa, super complicated, and when the client sees it and he doesn't like it, we wasted for 4 hours. For that process, AI can be super helpful doing mockups. So the client can see roughly his choosings. It's just a mockup.
I
So
mean,
furniture,
in case this helps you, I don't know if you've seen once again, I'm not doing ads here, just everything I know I want to put out there to be helpful. The Common Point guys, they did a few projects where they started by creating stuff with Meshy, I think, or Triple, doesn't really matter. And then they started refining it, going back and forth between different AIs to refine the textures, to refine the mesh. This is also a way to make something that you can actually really zoom on and make close-ups of, but it's also a long process. It's not like a one
yeah.
click button
But
solution.
that workflow, I think, could have so much potential. I have explored it a bit, and it has so much potential. The difficult part comes with revisions, because if you need to make so much revisions and make the same image over and over again, it can take up the project budget or the time budget. It could be more time consuming than the traditional way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So
It just not
optimization,
everything is you can model, you can be very good at modeling, but let's say you have let's say some type of sculpture which is already, old and whatnot, and it's so much easier to turn it into a model with AI rather than, model it from scratch.
totally. So for this project, optimization was key because videos and our lack of rendering farms. So for the simple objects, I remodeled them. For the objects like vegetation, Pro Optimizer from 3D Max tends to do the work. I know it messes the mesh up, but it's just going to be animated with some noise or in or a how's the name of this plugin?
Airflow?
Tyflow. No, I did try with animated with the plants with Tyflow, but it was a nightmare. Um, no, it's the one that does that does the plants.
GrowFX?
Uh, what? Sorry,
GrowFX? I don't.
GrowFX.
Yeah.
effects with the seeds, you can animate with the wind super easy. So this was not the case. We didn't have the seed for these plants, so it was just a procedural animation with noises and so on. Landscape vegetation, we use a lot of forest pack. In this case, for the animation, we use these settings. These tend to eat the RAM in a really bad way. So random samples and this count is super important. If you go higher, the RAM consumption will go through the roof. So I don't recommend to go higher than 2. And the time offset of 10 was working for us. We're not going to stop in here so much. The camera test that I showed you earlier. And this is one of the most important parts for the video and for the mood of the whole project. So this is one of the presentations we gave to the client, where we laid all the animation plans for them to see. We lay all our ideas and the mood that we are looking for the project. So we start looking in the most of the projects from the local project, the YouTube channel. We start looking for reference video, reference moods and lighting that we can translate to our project. We got all those pieces. We transform it in GIFs and we create the presentation with them. So every part of this mood board, let's say, is going to end in some way or one way or another in the project. So we have a sort of close-up with vegetation moving and the shadows are coming from the trees. One person it's there, but it's not the whole point of the picture. The trees, the sun moving it in time, very slow camera movements, the details. Again, this example was used in the project in two cameras. These type of shots were inspiration for the project also, and these references are not there by just it's pretty. No, it's pretty, but we can translate them to the project. It's super important. The lifestyle shots, again, the person, the slow camera movements, the depth of field. This shot is like the second or third shot from the project, where we have some low vegetation. The camera is focusing in the water. So all of these shots will be in the project. This was references for the lighting and the sound. The sound in this project was super important. It was custom made. It was not bought from any library. It was custom made with a musician from Colombia that we are working in the projects that we can. So the sound is so much better than any kind of regular sound from a library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the storyboard, super important also. We lay all the shots for the client to see. So this will be the first one. It's a close-up. What's the camera movement, location of the shot, and so on. We will do this with every one of the shots, and we have the animatic. So the animatic will look like this. This has no sound. Okay. So as you can see, it's just a 3D Max viewport with all the ugly colors. And in the bottom left corner, we stick still for the client to see what's going to be the mood of the image, the lighting of the image. But from day one of this presentation, the client is aware of how it's going to be the whole shot, the whole video, because redoing a video is super expensive. I don't recommend anyone to jump to a video without showing the client first what's the intention, because it's going to be super expensive. Paying or not paying for a render farm, it's not good.
Yeah, and capturing the viewport, especially how you do it with, showing the materials and the lighting mood in the corner, actually the client should be aware of how things will turn out,
Yeah. Obviously, since our clients, there will be changes from time to time, even if we lay all the information in front of them. But we tend to lower the revision times with this kind of presentation. And for us, it's super good too, because the camera paces, you can see a camera pace in a play blast in a viewport straight from Max. It's so much better to see and to edit a whole video in front of you in any program, DaVinci or Premiere or whatever, and to see if it's working, it's sending the vibes that you want to send. It's selling the house as the designer thinks it. So after all of that, okay. After all of that, okay, no, it's not running. Let me put it here. Here is the final video. Is it with sound? Okay. So that was Casa Sierra.
This was so awesome. You don't see the comments, but it's like, let me just read a few from Wow, amazing, so nice, applause. It looks so sexy, incredible work, chapeau, lovely. People were really excited and rightfully so. Seeing this animation, it was already on the campus. I This is why I decided to invite you, because it's not only the animation itself, it's like depicting the architecture. It's just so elegant. I like how relaxed it is, because it's talked about the intention of this house being a place for rest, and it is totally the mood that I get from this animation. When I see it, I don't feel like party. I feel like just going there to wind down, and it's beautifully made. Just, I can watch it as many times as you show it, and every time I'll just watch it till the end and enjoy it.
Thank you too. Yeah, it was
Thank you.
the intention all the way up. We try to go hand to hand with the designer, and luckily for us, this designer has a lot of intention. It's not just empty architectural boxes. Uh, this was trying to sell a very expensive house, and the client was super happy with the outcome. So it was a win for all the team and all the people that has participated in it.
Yeah, totally. Here another comment, so inviting, and I'm feeling like I was there, and which is actually a great compliment, I gotta say. And for Shant, a question. You showed it in the very beginning, the timeline, but how long did the whole thing take? I think it was 9 weeks. You said you started at week 0, and it was week 8, so altogether
Yep.
9 weeks. If I've been focused enough, and how many people worked on this altogether as a team?
Okay, so we have one model. No, it was two modelers, one for the architecture and another one for the furniture. We have a drone pilot because we are in Colombia. This project was in United States, and we have a project manager, a project leader, that is Juan Pablo, and I was the ArchViz like general artist for the project. I did all the shading, composition, cameras, Da Vinci, all of that.
You did most of the heavy lifting. It seems like 5, 6 people, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
this is not a one person job. Almost never. This has so much work on it. So it's for one person. It's super hard to do it.
I had this question among my questions, though. Would you say for if somebody's considering doing this, like commercial animations for a living, would you say alone it is a good idea, or should they, at least team up with a few people so that it becomes more manageable?
Depending on the scale, I would say you can do it on your own if you're starting, because the budgets are shrinking right now. If you are entering the market, it's super difficult to find high paying customers, and you can do it, but you have to have a good organization, a good workflow. And if you do one of these views in a day, you you will run out of time. You need to have a system to make one still image or one camera in, like, I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour, to have all this material to show and to build a video from it. But it's totally doable. You just have to be super organized and have a clear workflow. Um, I'm not selling the software, but tools, it's super good for this work.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
and
you're just saying what you're using. It's just we're not selling anything here, but sharing useful advice. I met the Pools guys on both events, actually, in the Netherlands and in Poland last week, and they are also very awesome, and they provide also very good support.
yeah,
Like
totally.
they're there for you. So Totally understand that you use it. And maybe, of course, for a single artist, we'll talk about AI later, as I said, but for a single artist, I mean, some of the camera movements that we saw in the animation, such as, a dolly and a slight shift to the side, can be done eventually with Clink or something. I don't know what you think
Yeah.
about it, but I think it could be pretty
Yeah,
consistent.
you don't need expensive hardware for this kind of videos at all. AI has advanced so much, so you just need one frame from the start and one frame from the last place of the camera, and you're done. Even that is super doable. Sometimes you just need one frame, and you type the prompt, move the camera slowly forward, and that's it. You just need Clink. Clink is the best for videos. It's even better than Google Veo. Veo is super expensive. I don't recommend Veo for videos. OmniFlash has some limitations in resolution. So for video, it's Clink. We are doing videos with Clink using that workflow from just one still. It works. It works totally.
Yeah. So this is a way to save a bit on the render time when we're speaking about solo artists, but of course, the same goes for studios as well. You're already using it.
Yeah. See. So I think AI will flatten the requirements for small artists versus huge studios. Because in huge studios you can have one person just doing simulations, water simulation, or fire, or smoke, anything like that. And with AI you can just prompt it, and it will have the same result but faster.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's a tricky topic. Some of the presentations I saw in the last 3 weeks, showed AI workflows, like very heavily AI based workflows. But honestly, the amount of work that was still needed, like it was the very first presentation on the WorldViz Fest, and it was more or less a marketing company. They don't do ArchViz, they do 3D for marketing purposes, advertisements whatsoever, relative Berlin. Um, and it was a very sweet presentation, and they were tasked to do some pixel like figures and create some episodes for them, like on a weekly basis, so that the company or the bank it was can share those episodes with their clients on a weekly basis. And honestly, the amount of, like, their Miro board, because we were also able to see it, looked like yours. So it's not like the AI will just be like one click and then all is done. It's, you still need to follow a workflow. Maybe the tools change a bit. For them, it was a mix of 3D and AI. But yeah, I mean, don't hope that it will just solve all of your problems, because none of the presentations I saw from really, really talented people that are industry leaders in the last weeks showed just AI being, that one-click solution that's, made their usual workflow and the steps that Daniel just showed us, redundant. Just to say.
Yeah, totally. One of the uses that I I like to give to the AI is references. What if my own project can be my reference? So we know AI can mess things up, mess details, change architecture. But what if I'm using it for reference only, and then do the CG work myself? That can show me so much potential, and show me ways that I didn't think of. But I can keep the control.
Yeah, that's true. I absolutely agree. I'm not against it at all. I use it on a daily basis for my commercial work and also for my mentoring. So, yeah, I wouldn't be saying anything about it, anything bad about it. But yeah, just don't think that you can rely on it too much, or don't have all the other skills, or a solid workflow or something like this, and AI will just replace or be a substitute for all of that, because you still need the good old ways in order to make things work. You saw the Miro board, you saw all the things that are happening. And then in the end, if the images are done with Corona or virus or whatever, you still need to create those Miro boards or, all of those, scenarios, screenplays, and all of those variations and whatnot. So yeah, it's just a different tool, maybe a bit quicker in certain situations, but not always. I saw presentations where people tried doing it with AI and they referred back to 3D because trying to get specific things in AI turned out to be so difficult that they spent more time and money because generations also cost money. Let's not forget about this. Than just doing it in 3D. And as Daniel said, with the meshy AI, not everything is immediately a great solution. But if you
Totally.
can do so.
So the AI has all the tools at hand, but it doesn't have intention. And intention to sell a property, to show a good image is like super important. The AI doesn't have any. AI can produce spectacular results, but if we don't put our own soul on that prompt, it's going to be totally generic, and it's going to look exactly the same as the other hundreds and hundreds of AI generations in the web. And the client will not pay for that standardization, let's say. The client wants something unique. The client wants something that shows that he is the one, that you want that house or that apartment, or that it sells is in itself, just looking at a video. So we need to put our creative minds in the AI. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, we need to be the pilots. I mean, almost every presentation, once again, feeling the sense of the industry during the last 3 weeks and hearing from different people that not only come from ArchViz, but also from different parts of the visualization industry. It feels like there is a certain uncertainty there, but everyone, even those that have already heavily integrated AI into their workflows, ended their presentations with, you see here my notes. I have tons of notes. You probably won't be able to read them, but it says it is your responsibility, not the AI's. It is you who is leading the way, and AI is just there to help you, not the other way around. Don't rely on it. It has no intention. It has no ideas. It has no originality. It depends on you. So that's why some people are good with AI and can produce awesome results. Others have the same access to the same AI tools and cannot produce anything worth your time. It's just the way I experience it. Daniel, are you ready with your presentation, actually?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this, because we can start with the Q&A officially, just so that I'm the whole time, I'm not sure if you're doing. Thank you so much. This was so good to see behind the scenes and just this whole project in, how it developed from scratch until the final awesome outcome. So I had prepared many questions. I always do more than I can actually ask, so that we don't stay here for 4 hours. So I have to adapt some of them. I wanted first to ask you, what is storytelling to you? Because last time, with some artists, I speak about it and they have a certain idea of storytelling. Others have a different one. For example, for one, it is the cup of coffee and the open magazine on the kitchen counter. For the others, like the photographer, the professional architectural photographer, Philip Kistner, who joined us for the last session, he said that sometimes it's just the architectural form, the light, or a material that can be the main narrative of an image or animation, because he also does videography. So what is storytelling to you?
For me, depends entirely on the project. For this project that we just see, Casa Sierra, it was the owner is just like one person, okay, or a family of 4. We want the architecture to tell the story. It's going to be super different if we are going to sell a condo. Maybe it's families that sell the story. Maybe it's a dog. maybe it's the parks and the perks that has that is around the house. So the project will say to us if how we need to tell the story. But for us, we tend to not put much human scales because this was entirely previously to the AI boom. So the anima models are not that great. They are not ready for close-ups. So we have some humans in the video, but they are super far away from the camera. They are telling their own story. They are enjoying the space. They are walking the space, but they are not the main focus. So for us, the architecture will tell us how we need to tell the story and how we want to sell that story to the viewer.
By the way, talking about the people, because you mentioned them, Yana in the comments, let me find her comment, said it's so sophisticated, especially the characters walking by in the background make the whole scene come alive. Also, they are at fantastic scale. I absolutely agree with Yana, but you did it in such a way. This is, we always talk about this here in the show or on the campus in general, that sometimes, something cool comes out of limitations. So you said animal people aren't that realistic. So you're not putting them close to the camera. So you have them this far away from the camera. But this way, they are actually there. They provide scale. They make the house feel lived in, but they don't distract from the architecture, which is actually the perfect solution in this case. But talking about people, because I also had this question as well. Now with Nano Banana, whatever, it has become very, very easy to place people in interiors and animations. Does this mean that you would be eager to do it though? Because being able to doesn't mean actually doing it or finding it good to do it.
Yeah, I think totally, because in composition, what draws most of the importance of the image is a person, any kind of person. And you have heard Nikos talking about this, and the way to draw attention to an image is put anyone else, anyone in there. Our eyes are accustomed to it. That's because we can say that that person is CG in a movie, and it's that CG because we know how a person should look like. But yeah, with Nano Banana and the AI, we can put more realistic people inside our images and tell other kind of stories that we previously we couldn't, because we don't have a green screen, we don't have movie budgets to do a courtyard for a people or a mall full of people. We can now. The AI has limitations. If the people is far away from the camera, the faces will distort.
Yeah, that's true.
The working or running will distort. Some people will transform in other people or objects. So it's not 100% there. But for close-ups or something like that, we can put people. Just please don't reuse the same prompts that you see in the internet. Think your own situations. Think what you want to sell, because otherwise it will everything look exactly the same. We are using everyone is using the same AI. Everyone knows Nano Banana. It's the best for now. ChatGPT has some super good model, but the resolution is so much limited. So the images can tend to look the same because we are using exactly the same prompts and the same tools, and the tool is just giving yourself the same feedback loop. So choose your words wisely.
Yeah, we've had enough of this lady with her skirt waving in the wind. I think it's time for something else, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, AI people are actually the opposite of 3D people. You know, we keep 3D people away from the camera because they are lifeless from up close, and AI people work up close, but when they are in the distance, they start, you know, morphing into each other or into objects, and it's quite weird. But yeah, once again, it's about picking the best workflow and just using it to your advantage. But yeah, be original. I mean, if you have something like a courtyard, then instead of the beautiful lady, have somebody who's just, you know, scrapping leaves from the floor, or, you know, something like this, which makes more sense. It kind of anchors the current situation more and adds to it rather than just something random and generic. Totally agree with this wonderful advice of yours. There is a question here by Shant. Do you will you be conducting any master classes for interested students in the future? I think this was a very good showcase of your skills. So
Master classes, I don't know. I'm developing my own AI course. Um, in this matter that we are talking about. I'm learning the tool like everyone else, but I want to share my grain of sand in this sea of influencers and software. Um, but for a masterclass for video, uh, maybe.
should be nice. Obviously, there is interest, people willing to join your course. You're also a hero, right? A CG Connect hero in the meantime. So yeah, think about it, please. Talk it over with Kels. We'll be happy to join. I'll be there for sure. And I assume Shant as well. So I wanted to ask you, coming back to this storytelling narrative. So how do you develop the idea for the narrative of an animation? But you more or less already talked about it. It's just this close collaboration with the client and figuring out what the project is about, what the clients want, and then putting it into an animation. Um, I mean, this particular client that you showed, this was like a dream come true, like a client that supports so much and it knows what they want. This is like fantastic. But you probably also have some clients where maybe you develop a certain vision, and then, you know, you try to convince them about this vision. On the World Viz Fest, we often talked about client collaboration being, you know, understanding the needs of the clients, but then also convincing them to trust your expertise. This is why they reached out to you in the first place, right? So how do you convince clients that are not the one client that you gave us as an example of the narrative or the story that you have in mind?
That will vary from client to client. It's super difficult to convince a person um, that has already a vision. Right now, it's harder because AI it's in your phone, and the client can tell you, "I want this look." That's super difficult to bend. But it all starts with the pre-production, with the references. If you have a strong vision and you can show it to the client, the AI can help you there, showing an super early sketch, super early version in a more refined way. Um, but if you have a very clear mind of how you want to sell your project, um, I think you can do it. And if the idea is a solid one, the client will, most of the clients will accept it. Some clients are super stubborn and they want, everyone has one client that asks, the part in shadow is not looking the same as the part in the sun. I want the color to be the same. Yeah, that kind of client is a no-go. Um, that person have his mind in some other galaxy. That's not the client you want to chase.
So you get rid of them in the long term.
Yeah, in the long term, if you can dump it, you can fire clients, not just one way around. And if you are looking to place your studio or yourself in a higher position, it's way better to be pushy on those creative things, because if you have a clear vision, you know that you are going to hit it out of the park. You are going to have a super nice looking images or video, uh, stick to your version. Uh, in other cases, we have done the client version and then we do our own version, the director version, and we show on our webpage our own version, and that's it, because the client will not accept otherwise. But if you are developing a portfolio, it's better to just go with your own vision in everything.
Yeah. I mean, the best case is when you develop your own version, like you try to explain what is good for them, then they don't listen, then you do what they want, and then you implement your version, then you share it on your page, and then they come back to work with you. They go through your portfolio and I see their project and they're like, oh, this looks way better than the ones what we did together. Why didn't you show me the first time around? And these are those moments where, I don't know, I don't want to talk about it anymore, but yeah, you remember, it's like, um, you work with somebody, but they also work with you. So it's like a, a process between two sides. And if one side is really unhappy, if there is no future there, even if you are, the person in service, you can still say, no, this makes no sense in the long term, because nobody will be happy from this cooperation. So totally agree with this. Um, but I assume you also educate your clients, because the thing is, not every client who, let's say, asks for stupid things or things that make not much sense is because they are assholes. Some people just don't know better. So you probably explain the process, especially if it's the first time working together, justify your prices. Do you do that, or do you immediately jump in and hope that they know everything?
Yeah, we try to explain the process, but it's not so easy for every client. We try to lay in a presentation for a new client how is the process made, how is he going to receive the images, the revisions, what he can expect from us, and what we expect from them, because we ask a lot from the clients. If the client didn't send us the the materials or the finishes or the complete architecture, we can't start. We will lose so much time if we start with an incomplete project. And for a new client, it's always a challenge. If they are not architects or designers, if they are just in front of an Excel sheet all day, it's gonna be tricky, because they are not visual persons. They are other kind of mind. So for a new client, it's way better to make some presentations, some way to show them how it's going to be the process. Uh, and to those clients, never send a white image, never, because they will say, this is incomplete, I can't stand, this is not going right, and they will be on their back foot for the rest of the project.
This came from a place of pain, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And apropos new clients, how do you get them though? I mean, I assume in the meantime, with the quality of your work, it's word of mouth, it's your good reputation. But at some point, probably in the beginning of the studio, you had to reach out to new clients, and right now you still do. So what do you do to make this happen?
You need to search for me. You need to search every day for a new client, because um, if you have a big client, a big firm that you're working on, the relationship can be from one day to another if the salesperson, if the manager, salesperson goes to another company. And what's your contact in that big office? That big contact is not there. And you will start from zero. Word of mouth is really important, but big clients don't tend to look for new offices, new architectural visualization offices all the time, because it's a risk, it's a big risk that they are taking. So don't expect a cold email to work right away. You need to build relationships with people. That's, I think, the most important part. Cold emails and LinkedIn messages, I tried so many times. They don't work. Most of the time, they don't work. When I have my own firm, I can send, I don't know, 300 images, 300 messages on LinkedIn, 2 responses, roughly, because no one is looking their inbox for propositions. If I receive one proposition, I delete them most of the time because it's spam. It's any. I'm not looking for it, so it's very tricky to land new clients in that way. So I would say relations always deliver good work because word of mouth can reach places. But you need to look. I think that you need to look for new clients every month of the year, every month.
Yeah. Here, Anatoly, he himself is like a studio founder, no fuss, Anatolian Yana, and he says on LinkedIn, you need to have a strategy, not just message people. This is the truth. This is, by the way, in the meantime, it's also the same with Instagram and almost every social media. You need a strategy. So start thinking about dances that share your stuff on TikTok. But I would also say networking helps a lot. I mean, you were a part of the latest Render It in Bogota, or what was it?
Yeah, it was in Bogota.
Yeah. Does it also help you get clients or maybe cooperations or something? Or is it, I'll share the link.
Maybe, yeah. We were talking with Ecomedia, and there could be some kind of collaboration between us. We hope so. But those kind of events are really important. That you need to know more people. It's very difficult to know them in I don't know, Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, to do business. You can get to know someone in social and get to know him, be friends, but to make business where you have big budgets, I think it's not the platform.
Yeah, probably not. I think it's more about collaborations and, or hearing where things are. For example, when I'll be talking about the WorldViz Fest on Discord, I'll tell you about what some of the biggest studios told where the current market is, if you don't know it already, and all of those things. So yeah, I think it helps, but it's not a replacement. So yeah, maybe if you wanna, eventually do better on LinkedIn, if this is your goal, reach out to Anatoly. He's on the campus, because it seems like they know what they're doing there or have this strategy he was talking about. Let's talk a bit about animation and learning it. What's it, because many ArchViz artists do stills. What's a good way to get into animation, without feeling overwhelmed, like, oh my God, you have to do a 3-minute movie, it would take forever, and render farms and all of those things?
I would say the same as applies for stills. Copy something that you like. Go to the local project in YouTube and see a bunch of videos and select one part of a project, a small project, that you can relate, and try to copy the camera movements, the transitions in 3D. You don't need to render. You can just have a play blast in Max. Tyflow, if you have Tyflow installed, you can make so much better previews than the 3D Max tool itself. So I recommend it. And copy something
It's
and
yeah.
edit. You can use DaVinci; it's free. The studio, the normal version is free. Don't have it has some limitation, but you will not find any in that process. And make a video and make a. It doesn't matter if it's just boxes in Max. If you want to sell a video, music is super important. Learn to edit. That's super important. Learn the music beats, the transitions, all of that, and you will have a clear starting point from there.
You have almost answered my next question, because I would have asked you about sound, because with animations, you don't only have moving images. There is another major aspect, which is the sound, which is very, very important and actually crucial for the mood, for the pace. So you said it, music is very important. How do you pick the right score? Do you start with the music and then fit the animation to it, or do you try to find a fitting music to the, let's say, pacing of your animation?
Okay, so we start from the mood of the project in the 0 week. Is what tells us what kind of music, what kind of speed the beats are going to be. And if you are not composing it, the music, we will look for the track in some library, and the track will say or direct the video pace, right? You can have a track that is going to be fast and the video is slow. That will have a bad outcome for the viewer, because it will disconnect the people watching the video. Look for what do you want? You want some super catchy Instagram video that needs to be punchy. Don't look for slow music, right? And your cameras will need to be super fast and changing composition positions. You can do all that from DaVinci. Um, I like DaVinci over Premiere or After Effects. For me, the interface is it's better. It's easier to learn, and get to know the software, the timings of the music, play some markups in the video where you need to have transitions. If your clip is just, I don't know, like 2 seconds and you need a bit more, just slow the clip down and make it match with the beat of the music. That's roughly, super roughly, what you need to do to edit a video. Just uh, get your transitions in order with your music, and you will have a good video.
And when it comes to those, attention grabbing exposure, social media short clips with music, don't play it too safe. I have the feeling that there are only 2 songs out there in the whole market that can be used as a, soundtrack for such videos. There is so much music out there. You can create your own with AI. There is royalty free music. So, search for something which stands out. Don't always do the same, because it becomes boring very, very quickly. What about environmental sounds? When do you include them? Birds chirping or urban city sounds, whatever, because they're like a different layer of sounds.
Yep. Uh, exactly as you were saying, there are free sounds. YouTube has a free library of sounds. There are Foley's in there also. I don't know, like trees in the wind, birds, water falling, all of that. We put some foley sounds in this video, and in other videos we have put a lot more. It's super important to sell the presence of the place. If you are in a coastal place, you tend to hear the water, you tend to hear the ocean, some birds in the distance. That will sell so much more than just an image of the curtain moving in the wind. You can transport the viewer to the place with the sounds. Those sounds is super important, and you can get them for free. They are not super a ton of sounds or free sounds, but you can start from there with a YouTube Music Library.
But don't overdo it though, because sometimes I hear interiors and then there are the cars outside and it seems like this is a hugely noisy area and you don't want to transmit that feeling, all right? Can you recommend like sources of knowledge and learning apart from your upcoming AI course, like courses, books, whatever, something that you maybe learn from?
There
Or
is a book.
oh, nice.
I
I love
have
this
it.
answer. Usually it's like just find something out there and inspire yourself, but
Go to
hearing
Instagram. No. It's called Framed Ink. I'm going to show.
please.
This one is.
Frantic.
I got it from 3 Marks. I forget the name of him. Okay, so Framed Ink is a visual storytelling. This is composition at its finest. This can apply to everything that we do. It's super easy to read. It's super easy to digest, but it's super important to understand what it's trying to tell you. Composition, light, can tell a whole story with just black and white. We have so much more tools, but we tend to forget about the basics. The basics of a good image are composition, lighting, and color. I think color is super important for ArchViz. You can have a good composition, but if the color is off, the interior design will look super bad. This goes from the basics, the very basics, from the rules of the composition, all the way down to composition with continuity, with intentions, in a very, very easy way to read. So
A very visual way. Yeah, that's fantastic. I already shared the link in the comments. By the way, your camera is frozen, or at least to me, I don't know how the others see you, but your camera is frozen. Maybe when you start sharing, this will go back to normal.
Okay.
There? No, you are still frozen.
Okay, I'm gonna.
It's in a very intellectual posture, though. But yeah, and now you're not there. This is probably because we were about to talk about AI, and AI has something against it. Oh, Renato said everything was okay. I still don't see it, but if the others do, it's absolutely okay with me. I see you in the small preview on Facebook. So AI. What impact does AI have on metrical visuals and on your work? You know, just like maybe also in terms of how much work you have. Do you have less work? Did you have to lower your prices because of it, or maybe offer more for the same price or something like this?
Yeah, I think it's changing in so many ways. Some clients say that they can do it themselves. They can do the images they want. Some clients say us that they prefer their AI images. Um, some clients will see that in that way because they are not um, they are not focused on the image. They just want to do a checklist. I need a rendering for to sell my properties. Check, I have rendered. But those images will 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 die, I think, in a way because AI without good direction is common. No one wants common things. In these days, we all want to be unique. We want to be special. Every day, the client asks us, I have this super special project. I need to sell it in a special way because it has these perks. The AI can't understand it. The AI doesn't have any kind of feelings. So we need to sell the feelings of the images to overcome this soulless AI. In other ways, AI has helped us in some organic modelings or AI modelings. For the references, I think it's great, but we are not doing a production for the clients with AI. Maybe it's assisted production, but it's not the finally delivery.
What AI tools do you actually use?
We use Tripo for 3D modeling, Nano Banana for the images, for the sketches or references. Magnific, it's super nice in some parts. In other parts, Magnific can mess a lot of parts of the images. And
like the classic Magnific, the upscaler and enhancer, not the free pick which turned into Magnific, right? Because
no, we use the legacy version just to enhance the final output. The final output in the vegetation is great for Magnific. I think it's super photorealistic. It doesn't mess that much. People, if it's in the distance, Magnific will mess 100% of them. The faces will turn to mush.
Yes.
Some details will start to appear, architectural details will be super messed up. And if you don't catch those mistakes, the client will do. And you are delivering the final image and it's full of errors. And that would be very bad for you.
Would you say Tripo is better than Meshi? Have you tried both, or did you just go for one?
I did try both. We have better outputs with Tripo. It's Tripo or it's I'm doubting. I'm going to jump in my PC to see if it's Tripo or Meshi. But I did the test. It's Tripo.
Okay, that's Tripo. Yeah. So you had
I did some tests with some complete buildings, and Tripo was doing better than Meshi.
Okay, thank you for this. And what would you wish for AI to be able to support you with in future? Because at the very beginning, people were a bit pissed, rightfully so, if you ask me, because suddenly the creative work went to AI and one was still left there rigging and unwrapping and doing all the tedious stuff that one usually doesn't enjoy that much. So what do you expect, or what would you wish for AI to be able to support you with in future to leave you with more time to do your creative work?
Ages ago, Autodesk showed in the 3D Max roadmap some archaic version of UV wrapping, AI unwrapping. It didn't come. I think it's been, I don't know, 5 years, but it's Autodesk. I expect the AI to got those kind of jobs. I don't know how to unwrap. I do in the most basic way. It's super tedious for me. I don't understand it. I don't care. I don't want it. AI can take all over it. AI can take on the repetitive tasks. Uh, AI can take on the scene parsing, on the 3D Max crash. AI can take on all of that. I want to have a software that is responsive, that allows me to create freely. Um, Unreal was big in that part because that interactivity and the immediate visualization of every part of the image and the shaders. But Unreal, it's so frustrating for ArchViz artists that we are used to. I want to rotate randomly my textures. Just put the you randomizer node. You want to do it in Unreal? Okay, here is the tutorial for that part. And you will learn with 30 minutes just to rotate randomly a texture. Uh, for us, it's super difficult to jump. For me, it was super difficult to jump to Unreal. I think that AI can make porting those kind of projects into other softwares so much easier. I don't see the willing for both parties to do that because Chaos has a Arena that it's more focused on that virtual production, and Unreal, it's Unreal. They don't want. I think they don't want that perfect interoperability between softwares because one of the maybe not all will survive uh, into that transition.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah,
can afford it. If they wanted it, they could have already implemented it a long time ago, most likely.
totally. Because
So
they bought the company that made the plugin uh, that translate the V-Ray or the Corona scenes for to Unreal.
the Datasmith or what?
Datasmith. Datasmith was a plugin they bought. It was, I think, an Spanish company that made it. I don't quote me on that, but they didn't develop it. They just leave it there, and every time you use it, it's so much inefficiencies in Unreal that you need to do the shaders again from zero. So
Maybe
it's
they bought it so to prevent it from being developed.
maybe
A technical question here from Renato. What exactly do you use inside Magnific for vegetation? For enhancing it, making it more realistic, like settings
like
or
settings.
although.
I can share it.
Please do. I still don't see you, but I see in the preview that you're visible. You're just not visible to me. That's okay. That's Riverside in recent times kind of being unstable. I hope they fix this because otherwise we'll have to jump to a different solution.
Okay. So for magnific settings in Legacy, I don't know if this is has changed on the other site. We have the creativity on 3, HDR on -1, resemblance 0, and fractality 0. And the engine is Magnific Sharpie. That's the settings for like all the images that we do. It works for most of them. In the cases where you have some AI slope or damage to your images, I tend to fix them in Gemini, in AI Gemini. I just select the place or the part of the image that is corrupted, let's say a face, a person face, and just paste that selection in Gemini and ask it for another face, and that's it. It's
But
super
you,
super easy.
yeah, I mean, the workflow that I use is, turn this into a smart object and then open the smart object as a separate file and then change it. And then when I bring it back, it's the same position, just changed. Maybe some,
Yeah,
uh,
if
masking.
in Photoshop you select the part that you want to change, what I do is I copy that selection, I open a new document in Photoshop, paste that selection, paste that same selection in Gemini, get the prompt. I receive the image from Gemini and I paste it in the new Photoshop document, so I can transform it in the size, exactly the same size. And because in the original Photoshop file you don't deselect the part that you selected previously, it will when you hit Control V, it will stick on that exact same selection.
Yeah. Oh, we have Nigel here. Hello, Nigel. I haven't seen you around for a while. Good to see you here. And this year we wait for you to join us for a Keep It Interesting episode about the ups and downs of a career. The easiest question for you, dear Daniel, how do you see the future of visualization in 10 to 20 years? This was a big topic on the WordViz Fest panels. Nobody wanted to come up with a prediction or something specific, but I'm sure you will be able to.
AI will keep growing. The billions of dollars they are pouring on it, no other company can match it. All the Google, Meta, and all these companies. So it will keep getting better. 2 years ago, we were not thinking in using this for production. We are doing it right now. Started to use it in production. I think it would be a mix of human production and AI. Definitely, AI will have much more control over the images. Agents are the new super duper tool. It's super expensive right now. One thing that maybe will change is the cost. It's massive for these companies. We are paying pennies for them. They are not recouping the costs. So I think the tools will be so much more costlier than right now. So maybe the offline solutions and the stable diffusions and the open source projects will be more relevant to the vast majority, because I think that the bigger models from Google or some other AIs will be so much pricier.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
that
quickly showing this, which I saw on Iwi. This page called Is AI Profitable? You may have seen it. I showed it during the Discord talking about it. But yeah, just here you can see how much money has been poured into AI since 2022 from Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, OpenAI, and so on. Apparently, according to AI, the page is legit, the numbers too. So the orange shows how much they have invested, and the green is how much money they have made out of it. Doesn't look that great, apparently, with the exception of one player, NVIDIA. Do this information whatever you want. I just wanted to have shown it to you during a recording so that you can eventually keep track on the site, because on Discord we didn't record this. But just what do you think about this, Daniel, by the way? I'll stop sharing it.
yeah, I think this will help change the landscape for all of us. Previously, we were the product with the social media. We are the product. Our information is the product. But right now, that ship has long sailed. Uh, they need to recoup that cost, and it's not going to be from $50 a month subscription with everything included. Uh, I don't see it that way. The investors will hang someone if they do it. So we will pay the cost for the tools. Some jobs will vanish, I think, because the tools are getting better and better and better. And one part that I didn't show was we can do our own scripts right now. Previously, you had to hire some developer to do it. We have the power to do it right now. I
With
have
vibe
made
coding,
my
you
own
mean?
scripts without any max script knowledge or anything. So it's a super tool. It gave us superpowers. We are not using it fully. We are just scared about the images. The images we see on the internet. Yeah, those images are great, but what about the tools? We can do our own tools right now. We can just the only way is our imagination
Yeah,
and
as Nigel
our time.
says here, it's a game changer for developers to accelerate development, and he should know the man behind Sinai software. So
Totally.
yeah, yeah, it definitely is changes everything. But I, just I don't know. This is just my personal opinion. One should probably not over rely on it because regulations are coming too. In Europe, we start having more and more of them, and we never know. So at some point, it could be like when we're already so hooked on this that the prices skyrockets and that we cannot afford it anymore. But we cannot also do anything else because our whole workflow is also based on AI. And of course, if regulations become too severe, some of the tools that are available may become unavailable. So once again, I had Andrei Donikov, Binyan's CEO and founder with so much experience behind his back being like, no, I don't want to say anything. And all the others on the panel were like the same. So obviously it's just, we can only guess and speculate, I assume. But it's still interesting to hear what about your opinion. So you don't see it in an apocalyptic way. Not
I
entirely.
expected to not be that apocalyptic, but industrial revolution wiped a lot of jobs. Capitalism is just about I need to earn more every year, and if I need to let go a lot of employees, I'm going to do it. That's already happening. So no one knows, but it could be bad in some places. Yeah.
Nigel says he's about to launch SynLab AI, which is all vibe coded by artists for artists. I don't know if it's like a free thing or not, but maybe it could be useful to you because it seems like vibe coding is something that you do. As you said, you're writing your own scripts. So check it out if it's out. Nigel,
True.
do a post, please. If it helps us, it's always welcome. And my final question, it's not a question, it's more like asking you to please drop a message for the Chaos Campus, for all the people watching us live now or the recording later. What would you say to them now that you have the stage?
Thank you for all the support. I'm an avid user of the forums. Back in the day, was super important for you to upload your images, upload your work, and receive that feedback because the eyes will lie, your eyes will lie totally. When you finish your project, you say, I love it. It's the best one so far, but maybe some new part of eyeballs will see some place where you can improve. Stick to the basics, stick to the basic of composition, lighting, color theory is super important. Color theory can make a good image, a great image, and we need to stick together. We need to stick together as an industry, as a profession. In my country, this is not like that much a profession. This is something that you can do. There is no professional courses for you to take on the university or anything like that. So it's something that you grow up with, that you need to take care of. And this, I fell in love with this profession. I think it's wonderful for us to be able to show the world what we have in our minds, show the world the new stadium that is going to be built. That's that not much people in the world can do that. AI can do a level slope. I know. You can say build me a stadium. It will build a horrible stadium, or a beautiful one, but it's not. It doesn't have a soul. So as an artist, we have so much power to show what we have inside, and yeah, stick to the forms, stick to the group. That will help all of us.
I couldn't have said it better. Stick to the Chaos Campus, stick to the community, be together. Don't, kind of separate because of AI or without AI or whatever. It doesn't matter as much as being, tightly together so that we are strong. And yeah, maybe to add what Nigel said, have fun being an artist, which I think you definitely do. Dear Daniel, once again, thank you so much for sharing all of this, allowing us a glimpse behind the scenes of a project of yours, and seeing the whole process, how it works and how it ends up looking like in the end. And yeah, it was a fantastic session, very insightful and also very, very inspiring. I can tell by the comments. And to you, my friends watching this, it was a pleasure that you were there, that you were hung out with us, that you were writing comments, sharing your opinions, asking questions. Next episode is going to be on July 7th, 4 p.m., as always. The topic is still open because I have many different options after the last 3 weeks, and I gotta pick one which fits the most. But once again, we stop here with the interior design and visualization topic. Of course, our exercise continues, and of course, we can talk about it every day on the campus or on Discord. And until the next show, you know what to do. Stay safe, be healthy, rock on, and keep it realistic, my friends. Much love, and
Thank you.